We have been looking at the story of Little Red Riding Hood over the past few weeks, and our learning objective this week is to retell the story of Little Red Riding Hood. We're going to have some help to do this today with this story here, because this one has a story and some actions. So when Miss Murray clicks on the purple words, you'll be able to learn the action to go with the story to help you to retell the story. So we're going to start at the beginning. So when I click this, once upon a time, you can see the action to do it. You need to tap your wrist. So I'm going to read the story and reveal the actions, and I want you to join in by doing the actions with the story and see if you can learn it. So, once upon a time, there lived a girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She lived with her mother near a forest. Now, if you want to see that part of the story again, then you can rewind back to the beginning. If you need to pause it at any point to help you to remember it, then you can pause it. Okay? So once upon a time, there lived a little girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She lived with her mother near a forest. One day, Little Red Riding Hood went to visit her grandmother. She took a basket of food with her. On her way, Little Red Riding Hood met a wolf. "Hello," said the wolf. "Where are you going?" "I'm going to visit my grandmother, who lives in the forest," explained Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf ran to grandmother's house. He went inside, put on a nightgown, and got into her bed. Little Red Riding Hood went over to grandmother's bed. "Oh, Granny, what big ears you have," she said. "All the better to hear you with," answered the wolf. Hope you're doing well at the actions. "Oh, Granny, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with," replied the wolf. "Oh, Granny, what big teeth you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to eat you with," replied the wolf. "Help!" shouted Little Red Riding Hood as she realised that there was a wolf in her grandmother's bed. She ran out of the house. A woodcutter was nearby. He heard Little Red Riding Hood's scream, and ran to the house. The woodcutter hit the wolf over the head. The wolf ran away, and Little Red Riding Hood never saw him again. The end. Now it says, can you remember the actions for all the characters in the story? I know it's quite a tricky one to remember. You might want to go back and watch it a few times to have a go at different actions at different times. Do you remember how to be the woodcutter? You had to put your hands on your hips for the woodcutter. Do you remember the action for the wolf? You had to get your claws, put your hands up like claws and show your teeth as if you're growling. Do you remember how to do grandmother? You had to make two fists and put one on top of the other. And Little Red Riding Hood was pretend to put your hood up over your head. Now, that is the end of the story. I would like you to have a go at retelling the story using the actions. Now, you might choose not to do the whole story because it is quite long, but instead you might choose one page of the story to have a go at. So you can pause the video at different points to have a go at different parts of the story to see if you can remember the actions to go with it. You can go back to the beginning and pause and practice the actions at home. Let's see how well you can do at retelling either all of the story or part of the story with your actions.